Daughter abandoned me because I was dying. Came back to claim the house thinking I was dead. Some moments test us beyond measure. Imagine being abandoned by your flesh and blood in your darkest hour, only for them to return later under the assumption that you've passed away and encounter a ghost from their past. I am Braylon, 56 years old, was diagnosed with colon cancer 7 months back. It was detected during my routine check, and gladly, it was just at the initial stage. No matter how positive the doctors were, I was devastated. No one is happy dying. I came home and informed my daughter about it. She was traumatized, just like me. I have no one in my life except for my daughter, and likewise for her, she has no one but me. Her mother is alive but non-existent for both of us. I'm a single man living with my 22-year-old daughter, Maisie. My wife and I got separated amicably 14 years ago. We fell out of love and she moved to Atlanta with her boyfriend. I was left with the custody of my daughter, who was 8 back then. Maisie has been a difficult child. Our separation didn't go down well with her. She became resentful of her mother because she left her. She never spoke to her mother after that. She never took her call. I tried my best to fill the gap and raise her well, but I guess I faltered there. When I told Maisie about my cancer, her first reaction was pain and hurt. We cried and hugged and told each other how much we loved each other. We talked about our happy times together, her school's graduation day, our yearly vacations, and hiking. She promised to support me and take care of me. I never thought she would get tired of me and abandon me, but here we are. After 7 months, she packs her bags and leaves me behind like a pile of garbage. I've been nothing but supportive of her for her whole life, and this is what I get in return. I do understand that it's tough for a young woman to take care of her ailing father. Well, she didn't have to clean my crap. I had a nurse taking care of those things. All I needed from my daughter was to be by my side. My doctor advised me I should quit my job or shrink it down minimally because the treatment would take a lot out of me, mentally and physically. I informed my manager about it. He was empathetic to my situation and released me. He said I can rejoin after fighting the deadly guest. I quit my job to focus full-time on my healing. Finance isn't a problem for me. I don't have any major responsibilities. I have paid off my house mortgage long back. My daughter's education is done, however much she pursued. I have enough substantial savings to last a few years. Then I have some assets that I can liquidate in case the cash dries out, so I'm in a good position to handle it financially. I was also quite positive about the treatment. My doctors were supportive. Maisie used to take me for the chemo and regular checkups. Chemo sessions were so painful and draining that I was barely able to move for the day or two after the sessions. I needed Maisie's help with the basic stuff, like getting me food and meds. I got myself a wheelchair so that I could move around the house on my own during those weak days. Yet on some days, getting into the wheelchair also felt like a tea music. I thought I had cracked a solution for my problem, but no, Maisie was still cranky. She continued her cold behavior. Not only did she maintain a distance from me, but she was also mean to the nurse. I asked the nurse to stay out of my daughter's way, but Maisie picked on the nurse for trivial things. She even asked the nurse not to touch the refrigerator or enter the kitchen because apparently she was dirty from cleaning the patient's stool, though Maisie never said anything to her face. After a while, it became evident to the nurse that Maisie didn't like her presence. The nurse asked me if I was satisfied with her work because it seemed Maisie was not. I affirmed that she was performing her duties very well and I have no complaints. That day, when the nurse left in the evening, I confronted Maisie about her behavior. Previously, I had asked Maisie to stay out of my business and let the nurse do her work peacefully, but now the water had breached its limit and my nurse was feeling the brunt. I had to intervene before she quit her job. When I mentioned to Maisie that she was mean to the nurse, she flipped out. She said I was unnecessarily blowing it out of proportion. She said she stinks of crap. I was trying to teach her some basic hygiene etiquette, and that witch ran to you with tears. I lost my crap and yelled at her. God dang, she's a nurse. She's been taught and trained about hygiene. She knows her crap more than you do. What the hell do you think you are to give her hygiene lessons, school dropout? That's right. She screamed and ranted for a good 10 minutes about how I made her life miserable. She held me responsible for why her mother abandoned her, and why she couldn't have a normal childhood like others. This didn't hurt me much. I'm used to this kind of outburst from her. She had done this so many times. What was hurtful was her false allegations. She said that a nurse is a piece of crap who eats crap, looks, and smells like crap. I know why you're protecting that. Has she made you her sugar daddy? She went on to say that the nurse must have realized that I was a soft target to manipulate and get my wealth because I have no family to inherit my property. I cut her off in between like, what the hell? What kind of delusional being is she? Our argument got worse, and she stormed the door in my face, leaving after an hour. I hear her yelling again from the living room, dragging her packed suitcases out of the house. She shouts, "I'm leaving the house for your good. This is what you wanted. Now you can do whatever you want with your mistress. Shower your every penny on that before you die. I don't care. Don't expect me to visit when you're dying. I'm not going to come." I wanted to stop her, but her words broke my soul. Tears welled up in my eyes, and I just sat near the window, sobbing, watching her stuff her suitcases in the trunk and drive off. It's been weeks now since she left. I feel worthless. I have failed as a father. Her words hurt me more than my illness. How could she allege that I was having a relationship with my nurse? How could she even think I would be wasting myself on the nurse? I feel like a failure. Failed at everything. Failed as a husband. Failed as a father. I feel no motivation to continue my treatment. One user commented, "First of all, I'm so sorry, OP. Wow, that's a heavy load you're carrying. Dealing with cancer is tough enough, but when it feels like your support system is crumbling around you, it's like adding insult to injury. It sounds like you're grappling with a whirlwind of emotions right now, from the physical toll of treatment to the emotional roller coaster of family dynamics. Your daughter's got quite the imagination, accusing you of cozying up to the nurse. That's a whole new level of creative paranoia. Please don't lose sight of the fact that you're not alone. There are people out there who care about you, even if they're not always the ones you expect. You're not a failure, OP. Keep holding on and keep fighting." Another update read, "Hey friends, I know it took months to update. Thanks for checking on me. I'm just so happy to connect with so many of you on DM. Never thought that this space would give me some genuine friends. This month I had my last chemo session. I've been declared cancer-free. I can't thank the medical facility enough for the impeccable treatment they have provided. After that clash with my daughter, things got worse, so my recovery halted, if not deteriorated. My doctor got concerned and recommended I seek a counselor to help me cope with the stress. It helped. It did. The first session with the counselor was nothing but me bawling my lungs out. It was such a relief talking to someone after a long time. I even told her that I didn't want to continue my treatment and let myself succumb to the disease, but the counselor helped me cope with my depression and hopelessness. I was even asked to have a full-time nurse because I was living alone and growing weak. If any emergency occurred at odd hours, I should have someone to take care of me. I offered double pay to my existing caregiver to accommodate me full-time because she knew my medical history and my diagnosis, so I didn't want to replace her. Had Maisie been here, she would have picked up on me for having the nurse full-time. It disgusts me to think how she accused me of something which I could never have thought about. Anyway, I have moved past my daughter. If she can abandon me at my lowest, I shouldn't be thinking about her either. With the support of my doctors, counselor, and nurse, I focused on my healing. My nurse used to take me for chemo, and I realized that more than physically, I used to get mentally drained earlier when Maisie used to accompany me. She was constantly throwing tantrums at me, which worried me more than the physical exhaustion. As I underwent my treatment, I lost both my hair and weight. However, I remained positive and determined to overcome it. I must confess, Maisie moving out turned out to be a positive development for me. With time, I felt the negativity dissipating from my life, bringing immense relief. I had clung on to her, making her my sole purpose in life, sacrificing my happiness for hers. Her departure taught me a bitter lesson. I had overextended my duties, love, and care. I shouldn't have allowed her to exploit and mistreat me as she did. No more. Ah, such relief. I now look forward to rebuilding my life. Initially, I contemplated returning to work, but now I realize it's unnecessary. I have decent savings to sustain myself. If the need arises, I'll take up a basic job, perhaps at a supermarket. For now, my focus is on regaining my weight and strengthening my muscles. I've started with walks and will progress to jogging and running once the breathlessness subsides. It's not easy. I still tire easily, but I'm taking it one day at a time. My nurse is still here, but I'll let her go once I regain some strength to care for myself. Congratulations on reaching this incredible milestone, my friend. Being declared cancer-free is fantastic news, and I couldn't be happier for you. Your journey, both physically and emotionally, has been incredibly challenging. Yet your strength and resilience shine through every word of your update. Seeking counseling has been a positive experience for you. Opening up and allowing yourself to be vulnerable is often the first step toward healing. I'm sorry to hear about the difficulties you faced with your daughter. However, it's inspiring to see how you've chosen to prioritize your well-being. Sometimes stepping away from toxic relationships is the healthiest choice we can make for ourselves, even if it's painful at the moment. Update 2. It's been 2 years since I was declared cancer-free. During these 2 years, I've focused on doing what I truly enjoy. I realized I had never truly lived for myself. I worked hard to provide a good lifestyle for my daughter, but during my time off from work, I dedicated myself to her, trying to fill her mother's absence. I avoided getting into any serious relationships to protect my daughter. Eventually, I stopped dating altogether. However, after becoming cancer-free, I decided to give dating another try. Initially, it was awkward. The dating scene had changed drastically, with women using unfamiliar lingo and jargon. After meeting several women through a dating app, I found someone I connected with, Ellie. In her early 50s, Ellie had been cheated on by her husband multiple times. She raised her daughter as a single mom, and now with her daughter off to college, she's trying her luck at finding love again. After seeing each other for several months, Ellie and I decided to move in together. Some might say it was too fast, but considering my age, I didn't think so. We had the option for her to move in with me, but Ellie's artistic taste and aesthetically designed house made me opt for moving in with her. I sold my house for a good sum, ensuring a comfortable retirement for myself. Why am I updating now? Last week, a strange incident occurred. My daughter encountered a ghost, or rather, she met my new homeowners. Maisie trespassed into the house I had sold, causing chaos and even getting into a scuffle with the new owner's girlfriend. Hernan, the new owner, called me in a panic, demanding I sort out the matter. When I arrived, Maisie was there with her friends. She froze upon seeing me, shocked that I was alive. She made hurtful remarks about my illness and the money from selling the house. However, her words no longer affected me. I made it clear that she would receive nothing from me and left her behind. Usually, I would feel remorseful in such situations, but that day, I felt lighter and more satisfied. I knew I had done the right thing. Abandonment stings, doesn't it, Maisie? Looks like the tables have turned. Here's to embracing the lighter side of life and leaving the ghosts of the past behind. Cheers to moving forward and focusing on our happiness. Thank you for joining me today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the notification bell before you leave. Your thoughts and comments are always welcome. See you next time on Insightful Tales.